Welcome to the Fellowship of the Script, the podcast where we dive deep into the art and business of film. I'm your host, Derek J. Bowder.
And I'm your other host, Ben Escobar.
Today we're delivering some bittersweet news.
That's right. We might be ending this podcast and reviving another, but bear with us because we have a lot to discuss.
We have a lot to discuss indeed. So, right away, just going to address the big elephant in the room. Why are we ending this show? Ben, do you want to get into it or do you want me to kick it off?
I don't. Yeah, no, sure. I think we like having this podcast as like a fun way to continue chatting with you guys in the community that we've known for so long and is continuously supportive. And it was also just a way to keep up with the active, creative endeavors we both have going on and stuff, and sometimes meeting new filmmakers. But I think when it comes to advice giving and like lessons like that are really hardcore and like real like genuine A-level career advice beyond just like, yo, just you have an iPhone, shoot. Like, beyond that, it's kind of we're also so preoccupied with our own stuff and we're learning as we go, and it just feels like sometimes it might be our position right now and our kind of strengths and better talking points, I guess, and growth trajectory is better suited like talking to people like each other. And we were, Derek and I met kind of like we bonded over a podcast, actually, Creators Unite, that he had started with when he first started streaming. And we've talked about how we kind of both miss streaming in some ways, and what that was like back then. And so yeah, we were kind of thinking about like, what if we kind of go back towards the good old times and stuff, since I think we started strong there. But
Yeah, so essentially re-widening our scope and reviving Creators Unite, which is a podcast that I managed to do 62 episodes of. So we're talking about picking up on episode 63, and basically like 75-80% of the time there would be a guest talking with us, which I think would be a lot more fun, and we don't have to just talk about filmmaking, which I've enjoyed doing for the last 8 months or so with this show. But I just think right now, at the point, at least I speaking for myself, the point I'm at in my career, I don't know if I really want to be doing a podcast right now where, I'm just getting started and I might have a producer or somebody see that I have a podcast about filmmaking, and it may come off as like, oh, this guy thinks he knows everything, which
yeah.
I know nothing. It's been fun to share some of the things that we've learned doing short films, but now that I'm getting into features, I'm realizing that there's so much to do, so much to learn, and I don't know. I think for a podcast, I'd rather sit down and talk about all kinds of stuff, not just filmmaking.
Yeah.
And maybe doing something that was kind of intended to be a little more educational at times feels a little too niche right now. And while I do think that we'll have guests on where we do talk about filmmaking, I think having just content creators on in general, whether that's, somebody who we've talked to in the past on Creators Unite who's mainly a content creator, or somebody who's an actor and also does content, kind of like how I do, or somebody who's making video games like Ben is, and, just finding different ways to bring something different to you guys where it feels like it's always something new and exciting, and maybe not so much us just talking about like, hey, here's how you make movies, because I think there's less people out there who want to learn about making movies than there are people who want to just like learn about all kinds of different things and maybe talk about
Mm-hmm.
movies in a more of an audience member perspective, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And
Yeah.
yeah, we'll still talk about, what's going on with filmmaking and making video games and stuff, and
Yeah.
talk about where we are in the process and what we're doing, and we'll still do Q&A episodes, you know. And so if you ever have a question filmmaking related, you can always ask it like that, or maybe we'll do some Q&As in the Discord if people want that. But I don't know, Ben, what excites you about, I guess, the future when it comes to switching towards Creators Unite?
Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed that format so much because it's just a great way to like have, a relaxed, fun, kind of low structure conversation that's like with interesting people and you're making new friends every time. Like
Yeah.
I am so happy to, have grown knowing you since like we first did our podcast. And I think that's like a great, it's a cool thing to try and do again with more people. But even then, like not trying to like force friendships out here, you know what I mean? It's more of like getting to know people and like uniting with creators, exactly what the name is. It's a very simple thing. And, I feel like when we talk about like our advice and stuff for like the film industry and like our kind of, beginnings and stuff, I feel like we were very forward about like what we know and don't know and how we're kind of at the same level as everybody else. And I think that's the important thing to know about filmmaking and creativity in general is like at its core, like we're all just humans trying to figure shit out. And some people are more privileged than others and have some cheat codes going on, or just, very the hard worked built up positions. But really like a lot of the struggles that you feel, day to day, is that of the same person who's at a much higher level that you would think their life is perfect. And I don't know, it's good to kind of unite on that level because I think it makes you feel less alone in the world and also makes you feel like the impossible things are a little bit more possible, because it's it's actually not as like, like the system is not necessarily rigged against you specifically, you know what I mean? It's just sort of a thing we're all trying to figure out together. But yeah, I'm excited to get to know more people. I'm excited to continue, growing in the creative endeavors we both have going on. I'm excited to see Derek's film. I'm excited to make, more games and hopefully make more films as well and just creating.
Yeah, and I mean this idea was kind of sparked, at least in my mind, from I was scrolling on TikTok after I just posted a video and I saw somebody that I had on the podcast, and I'm like, oh, I wonder how they're doing. They're still, they're still doing it. Um,
That's cool.
and then I thought about, oh, should have them on the podcast, and then I realized, oh, we do a filmmaking podcast now, and this person just does like random videos, so I don't really know how we're going to incorporate that into
Yeah.
filmmaking. And then I kind of realized, I it would be fun to kind of widen our scope and just talk to all
Yeah.
kinds of different people from different walks of life who all share one thing in common with us, which is we make content or we create art. We create things, whether
Yeah.
it's a musician or somebody who does prank videos, which it would be fun to talk to somebody who does that,
Oh yeah.
food reviews.
Yeah.
Like there's all kinds of stuff out there, and I don't want to limit our guests to just filmmaking. And I also think there's a lot more guests that I can tap on and we can hear from different, different different walks of life.
I agree.
And
I
I
agree.
think trying to do that while we have a podcast titled The Fellowship of the Script just doesn't feel on brand. And just like we're doing with Creators Unite now, it's not like we're permanently closing the door on the Fellowship of the Script, but you know, um I think it would be fun to just have some guests on and have a chat and talk about movies,
Yeah.
and Ben and I can talk about filmmaking, or the guest can ask us, about filmmaking, but not just talking about filmmaking.
Yeah.
Sounds like a lot of fun. And to be totally honest, I mean, I sat down and I'm like, I gotta like structure up a script here about shot listing, and I've just been editing my film for 4 hours, so I don't really feel like talking about shot listing
Yeah.
right now.
I feel that.
Just trying to like not burn myself out as a filmmaker too. And I think if we're always constantly, Yeah, at first it kind of sounded like a cool idea. Like, oh, we're, diving into filmmaking. Let's do a filmmaking podcast. And we gave it a shot and I had fun with it. But I quickly realized that it seemed like a lot of the audience members, they weren't necessarily watching it for the filmmaking, that
Hmm.
aspect. So yeah, no, I wanna see what happens if we bring back Creators Unite. And
Hmm.
before we get more into what that means for the future, looking back at the last 30 plus episodes we did, this is 33. How do you feel about it all? I think there was some cool stuff in there. I learned some stuff.
I think it's great. I mean, like, it's always nice to like kind of go over like the interesting things that happened or like what we're looking forward to, and then like the disappointments and then successes that would come like the week after. Would be like, oh yeah, that thing I was waiting for didn't really work out. But and it's like, yeah, there was some pretty crushing blows, December 2025, but that's fine. Um, but it's, I think we had a good time, like, learning. I mean, no better way to put it. Um, but, like, I don't know, I enjoyed, like, being real and, like, getting to know, like, you guys' questions and stuff and talk about our process and, like, also, like, the buildup of talking about around midnight, or maybe I'm speaking on your behalf right now, but like the buildup of talking about around midnight from like, oh, I just finished the script. We just, wrote the shooting draft. We're gonna, you'll be hearing me talking next week about about my Indiegogo, and we're gonna be fucking rolling. And then it's like you can just see the timeline of, yep, manifested it, called it, told you, shot it, did it, editing it, gonna be finished. It's like that's so sick. So that to me, without getting too specific, or like, a favorite episode or something, I liked our top 10 episode. But I
And we
think
can still
that,
do that. We can still do
yeah,
a
yeah,
top
why
10
not?
movies of the year. Like, I would love to. Like I said, we're not gonna, like, not talk about filmmaking anymore or talk about movies, but, I will say, like, I've been talking to other local content creators and just, catching up with some people, and they're like, "Oh, you still doing a podcast?" Like, "Oh, doing a different one now." "Oh, what's that one?" And I'm like, "Oh, it's about filmmaking." And they're like, "Oh." And I could tell right away they're like, "Oh, well, I guess I can't be on that, like, I'm not a filmmaker." So
Yeah,
it's like,
that makes
I don't
sense.
know, I just wanna open the door to more people. So, to me, this felt like a decision that's going to benefit everybody because now, more people will probably be interested in hearing from, another like, hearing a couple of content creators interact with somebody else that they know, and hearing that conversation instead of just being like, "So how did you make your movie?" Which we can still do, but I don't
Yeah,
wanna do that every time?
yeah, that's a great point. Um,
Yeah. But yeah, no, it is kind of funny to look back and see, like, we kinda captured, like, 9 months, a crazy 9 months that we just, like,
this is
went through.
9 months.
Just about, yeah.
Whoa, that's cool as fuck. I didn't realize
Yeah,
that.
so we averaged, like, a little over 3 episodes a month or something, I think.
Wow, we did a lot of so much happened in the last 9 months. I swear to God.
Yeah, so, I guess to get into, like, what that means for the future, we are gonna be, taking a bit of a hiatus while we rebrand the Patreon and do a couple other things and start recording some episodes with some guests and things like that. But we'll get more into that in a little bit. Is there anything else you want to say to close, maybe temporarily, the book on the Fellowship of the Script?
um, I think if we have, instilled any kind of inspiration in you to like actually create and like you've, can look back at your last 9 months or however long you started watching this and say like, you something was created that wasn't there before, then I think that's awesome. And I'm happy to hopefully have helped you with that inspiration. I think you gotta just keep going and believe in yourself and always try to build past the losses and stuff like that and don't consider everything a loss. I mean, it's just kind of constant constant recalibration, and you got to
That's what this is.
just
We're
yeah.
recalibrating.
Yeah, that's real. That's real. I mean, I don't know. I'm very glad to have done it, and like I said, it doesn't feel like it's a closing of the book necessarily. It's like a yes and like
It's like
in
putting a bookmark in
improv.
for now, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's always these conversations are still alive and well and around, and it's not like we're quitting film or
No,
nothing like
not at
that.
all.
Yeah, so I feel like it's great. I want to talk to more people. I want to chat about any
All
kind of
kinds of
creators.
stuff. Yeah.
What about you?
So, well, first of all, I agree with a lot of that. I mean, it's just it is crazy to think like when we started this podcast, I was trying to figure out how to do a feature, and then now it's like I'm deep into posts on my debut feature. Like that's really cool. And
Sick as hell.
while we were doing that, like I feel like we gave a lot of really valuable information about pre-production, which
Sure.
I think it's the most crucial out of like the phases of filmmaking. Pre-production is where the movie really it things get determined. What kind of film you're going to be ending up with. It's really the blueprint so that you can go make a film. And anything that we didn't get into, like shot listing again, like just join the Discord. It's free, or if you're already in the Discord, there is a questions section, and I'm more than happy to to give you my 2 cents or steer you in the right direction.
Hmm.
There's lots of resources out there I could point you to. But yeah, no, I'm very proud of what we did the last 9 months with this. Like it felt like we really like tried something new and felt things out. And I think the one thing that I learned right away is like I really enjoy podcasting. Like
Yeah.
I want to keep doing it. I just think it would be really cool to get some interesting characters on here to talk to, and
Hmm.
so we're gonna do that over at Creators Unite. Before we get more into what reviving Creators Unite entails, final little ad break for now on this show. Follow us on social media so you can know when we're about to drop the first revival episode of Creators Unite. I go by at Danny Dorito 23.
I go by at Genie Boy Games or at Real Ben Escobar.
You can join our free Discord if you want to stay in touch while we're making the transition to the other podcast. A bunch of people in there talk about movies all the time, other things, and yeah, there's all kinds of cool people in there. We will still have our Patreon operating. Things will just we'll be changing the name of it and stuff, but it'll still be active. We'll still be doing giveaways. We'll still have producer credits available. Still gonna be doing a hangout. I think the perks may change a little bit, but just have to wait and see how that kind of shapes out. Again, it starts as little as $1 a month, and you can save 15% by subscribing annually. So appreciate you, and appreciate anybody who's been a Patreon member throughout the life of this podcast. One last thing, G Fuel code Danny D does get you 30% off at gfuel.com. And we do have a giveaway tub of hype sauce. Very vibrant, dude. That's some
Ooh,
cool artwork, huh? Tub of hype sauce, and that is going to Too Quick, aka Andrew Gabor,
let's go.
producer on the podcast, good friend. Been here since Creators Unite. I'll say that. So
That guy's an
congratulations.
OG.
He is an OG, and he was in around midnight, which is really cool. Like I already edited his
Nice.
scene. Um, so yeah, gonna get that tub sent out to you. We'll continue doing G Fuel tub giveaways Even while we're away for a month, I'll still do it in the Discord. So, I'm still going to be fulfilling the Patreon perks. It's not going to be like when I was filming my movie where I'm just completely gone. So, and we got to get Ben in the Hangouts too.
Yeah, I gotta.
So we'll talk about that for the future.
Yeah,
Um,
be fun.
but back to talking about reviving Creators Unite. So we've kind of talked about like why we're choosing to revive that show. I also really like the title, and I think it really, you know, very simply encompasses what that show does. It literally brings creators from all different parts of social media, all different career fields together to have conversations. And I mean, I think there's a reason why I think that was my longest running podcast, right? 62 episodes. I don't know if anything's
Yeah,
gotten that far. And
Cool Ranch Corner.
I think Cool Ranch Corner may have gotten close, or did it surpass? I don't know.
Did we do like
Let's
70
find
something?
out.
I think.
Cool Ranch Corner. Let's see. Oh, okay. Cool Ranch Corner is the longest running. We got to 86.
Holy shit!
Yeah, we got to 86. So we'll see if we can. We will surpass that with Creators Unite. I
Yeah,
can't wait to hit episode 100.
I can't wait for episode 67.
Oh, we're close.
Yeah,
6, 7. We gotta have a special guest on for that.
yeah. We should get someone who's like extra brain rot for that.
Joshua Block or something.
Yo, that would be wow. That would be crazy.
I don't think he'd come on our show.
No, I don't. I can't imagine him sitting in front of a fucking computer to
It'd be a very short episode.
That is too funny.
But anyways, so what does that mean for the channels and operations? So for about the next 1 to 2 months, since we really want to do things right, we're going to be setting up a TikTok account, an Instagram account, so we can promote, those we can promote the show with clips. And so we're going to be doing that. We're going to get the YouTube and the Patreon names changed over. Like I said, perks may change a little bit for the Patreon. We got to figure out the podcast feed. I got to see if I can still access the old one, so that we can continue right where we left off with Creators Unite, or I'll have to do a new one, and we'll be re-uploading the episodes. Which, like I said, that's why we're taking like 1 to 2 months so that I could do all that. We can make sure they're all available for everybody who didn't watch the older episodes, which they're still available on my channel. So yeah, we're gonna be starting with season 3, episode 1 over there on Creators Unite, and yeah, we'll focus on guests from all different career fields that involve content creation, which I feel like is pretty much everything nowadays. And like it's gonna be really interesting to see the different people that we have on and what they do, and I think we'll have some fun conversations, but also learn, how other career fields use social media.
Yeah. I'd also
So,
be interested in like hearing you guys' suggestions on who to meet, like who you guys like.
oh yeah,
Aside from
definitely
who we like.
let us know who you want us to try and get on. Obviously, when we're first bringing it back, it's not like we're going to be having Mr. Beast on or something. So, have some realistic expectations. If you know somebody who's got a respectable following, you know, like, yeah, let us know in the comments, and we'll look and see if we can make it happen. And then we will still be doing like a monthly Q&A episode, which will be with or without a guest, depending on how we do it. But yeah, timeline wise, we're looking at about 1 to 2 months that we'll be gone, and then boom, we'll be unleashing some Creators Unite episodes. We don't really know what the posting schedule is going to be like yet. It's really going to be on like a guest by guest basis. So, um, I would say we're aiming for once a week, but we'll see how it goes. But know that, we want to bring you, really good quality episodes. So,
Yep.
yeah. So, I mean, that basically entails it. We're not going away. We're just going to a little different, podcast. So we'll talk a little bit more before we close out this episode of the Fellowship of the Script. But again, let us know in the comments if you have any questions. The Patreon will be continuing. The YouTube channel will rebrand, so will the Patreon. But then yeah, really excited to start talking to some cool people and having some fun with these more free flow, casual episodes that we have planned. While still talking about movies. So, and occasionally talking about filmmaking. But you keep like muting and unmuting. I don't
Wait,
know if it,
what?
yeah, I don't
Really?
know. Yeah, I don't know. It's like messing with my head. I'm like, why does the sound keep cutting out? You're fine.
Oh,
Um, okay, so anything else you want to say about Creators Unite?
um, I'm just happy to be back, and like I said, it's where we started, so that just makes me, happy and all the more excited. And I miss the good old days. I miss like when streaming and all that stuff was so much more consistent, and like the good old days of TikTok. And I don't know, life kind of got in the way a little bit, soon after we both got started, and like we both, were in our early 20s, and now we're in our late 20s, at least for me. And,
I'm
um,
30, dog.
yeah, it's like kind of crazy. So
I'm
I
an
don't know.
unk.
Dude, yeah. Oh my God. I was playing with like, I was playing Call of Duty, 6 years after, when I first started, and everyone calls me Unk now. It's crazy. But I don't know. It feels great to go back to this old direction, because man, what a blast that was back when, we were like just doing nothing but this. And I really feel like, um, at least for me in the last couple of years, like I have come back into my own in a way that I feel like I had in those early 2020 eras, like 2020 years, um, and sort of lost, and hopefully will regain. But this is all part of that, so I'm feeling great about it. Um,
I'm looking forward to not only meeting some new content creators, but also reconnecting with some
yeah,
people from the old days. That sounds
yeah.
really fun.
I got one in mind that I don't know if I should like name drop it on the stream, because it would be like weird if we don't get them, and also like I don't want to put them out like that. But
It's a
like
maybe, which is who are you talking about?
Benjamins.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, we could definitely try. It would be interesting to see what he's up to nowadays.
So
He's
I
the
told
gift
you like
master.
yeah, I know, that's crazy. I like in like work chats, people just be posting gifs of him. I'm like, yo, what the fuck? Like that guy.
He
We like
made
started
gifts
TikTok at the
of
same time.
everything. Yeah, it's crazy.
That's so that's so wild. But yeah, I had seen him in passing in LA, like after like I was coming out of a meeting or something like that, and he was just like full outfit, wearing the,
Did he recognize you?
sunglasses. No, I don't think he
Oh,
knows what I look like. And I don't know if I met him before?
I don't know if you have.
Maybe on like a Discord call or something. I feel like we did
Maybe.
like rub
Or maybe
shoulders,
we
or
gamed with them or something together.
yeah. I think I think that's what it was. But he looked particularly like not sad, but just like annoyed and like in the zone, and I didn't want to be like, "Hey, we played Call of Duty once," like on the
Yeah, I'd be
sidewalk.
like, "Oh God."
Yeah, I know.
I mean,
But
if
if
you
we do
said
have
like,
him on the
"Hey,
podcast,
I'm Danny Dorito's good friend," he'd be like,
yeah,
"Oh, hey, yeah." But yeah, no, we'll see. That's a possibility for sure.
yeah,
Um, I'm excited to like really commit to like making some clips too, and getting some good exposure for the podcast too, which when it
same.
came to filmmaking, I'm like, man, what do I make a clip about? Like, this is because we're talking about nerdy stuff.
Hmm.
It was tough. Whereas with this,
Yeah,
I feel like we just, clip whatever we think's gonna like go viral,
yeah.
which is a
Good,
much,
good moments. Yeah,
much simpler goal. But yeah, no, very excited. At first, like I said, it's kind of bittersweet to kind of put a bookmark in this podcast, but I'm excited to start just chatting with random cool people,
same, dude.
you know? And we will. I think it will be a good idea to go in with like a couple questions each, just in case we need to keep the conversation going or
Oh yeah.
something. But
Oh yeah.
otherwise, I want to really keep it like free flowing. You
Hmm.
know.
It would be good. I think we'll definitely, like I said, feel like the good old days again, which is great. So
Yeah. Well, to kind of close things out, what's new with you, man? What's an interesting thing that's happened since the last episode?
Hmm. Well, it's another one of those weeks where it's like last week I was saying I'm really anticipating this meeting that's going to happen, and then didn't really go as well as planned. That's okay. Um, I will say I started playing Kingdom Hearts again.
Oh,
And that is nice.
I'm kidding.
The first one.
Oh, brother. No.
Yeah, I don't really have much to say.
Get a
I don't
load
know.
of this guy.
I kind of, I've been trying to figure out what the new scene is going to be in the Steam release of Twirl. I mean, I kind of mentioned I figured it out last time that it's like a Christmas scene. This time I figured out what the kind of story of it and work and flow of it is, and so we're just kind of implementing that into the game and then going to release the demo. Oh, this is easy. We hit 1,000 wish lists.
Busy right now, buddy. We're recording.
Oh,
Sorry, what was the last thing you said?
all good. Do you hear? Okay, the sirens are on. I was saying an easy one to say if something interesting to happen is we hit 1,000 wish lists on Twirl this week, yesterday, and we're
Wait, how
climbing
many?
at 1,000.
1,000.
Yeah, it's okay.
Wow.
It's like it's good, but
No,
it's
that's a
not like
lot, dude.
yeah, it's good. The goal is to hit about 7 to 10,000, and then that's like when you get solid long term traction supposedly. Um,
Okay.
I have no guarantees or promises. That said, I'm going to aim for the stars and try to make sure we get that. And
Hell
it's
yeah,
just been
dude.
cool to see the support so far. I didn't think we would hit 1,000, so it's awesome.
Hell yeah.
What about you?
One interesting thing that happened. I saw Mortal Kombat 2, and it was way better than I expected. I
Mm,
honestly didn't think it was going to be any good. And I mean, dude, if you like the new Mortal Kombat games, it's like it feels like you're playing the game. It's pretty awesome.
cool. Very cool.
Yeah, it was a good time. Um, what else? Mother's Day. That was yesterday. So that was nice. My wife wanted Rudy's barbecue. And then we were just lazy and watched Paradise, which is a great freaking show, man. It's
That's
great.
on what
Hulu.
platform? Okay.
Episode 7 of season 1 of Paradise is one of the greatest episodes of television I've ever seen.
Wow.
And
That's
I did
awesome.
not think I'd be saying that.
All right, I'll give it a go. I haven't watched a TV show in a very long time.
It's very bingeable. There's like 8 episodes a season, I think. So we
Oh,
have
cool.
2 more episodes left of the second season. Um,
Wow.
I started The Boys. I watched the first episode of season 5.
Okay.
That was pretty good. Um, can't believe that season's about that show's about to end. But as far as one thing I'm looking forward to in the next week, we are taking Theo to Top Golf for his birthday on
Cool.
Wednesday, so looking forward to that. Top Golf is fun. Have you done Top Golf?
Yeah, a couple times. I'm not very good
Nice.
at it, but I've tried.
Hell yeah. And on Thursday, finally gonna see Curry Barker's Obsession.
That's
So
exciting.
very excited. Dude, they have been marketing that so well. The
Yeah.
marketing has been great.
The clip that went viral of the diner scene where the
Yeah,
girl's
yeah.
like progressively going crazy, like that's a really good move to just like drop a clip like that
Hmm.
to let it say it all. Because I feel like that alone is what's going to make a lot of people go. So it's hype.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm very curious to see like if it overperforms expectations box office
Hmm.
wise. Um yeah, very exciting. Um before we go, do you want to give a cool recommendation
Hmm.
of anything?
Tough to say. Uh, You go first, and I'll think of something.
I recommend G Fuel, man. Get some G Fuel. Go Danny
Okay.
D. No, and watch Paradise. Paradise is great. If you've been on the fence like I was, watch it.
All
It's
right.
worthy of the hype.
If we're just gonna recommend anything, I could see it. We can recommend just anything. I'm gonna give you a wild one, and this is a little pretentious, but bear with me here. I really like the self-driving monthly subscription I got for my Tesla. It's
Oh
like
my
really good.
gosh.
It's like I pay.
Game
It's a
changer?
hundred.
Are you more
Yeah,
productive?
it's $100 a month. Yeah, I am. It's $100 a month, and it's like you pay $100 a month for like your car insurance, more or less. Like could be that, and I've like a storage unit, and it's like if you drive a lot, like the self-driving of that is so convenient, and it's 100% self-driving. Like you don't need to like turn it off for like city streets or whatever the hell. Like point A to point B, it's all good to go. And that's been like my quiet like takeaway from this last of 2026 being like, because I got like a free trial out of it. Like they just dropped a free trial, and it was right when they updated like the full unleashed version, like from point A to point B, and I was like, okay, let me try it. And then it's like, oh man, it's so nice. So
That's pretty smart of them to do a free trial.
yeah, they hooked me after that 30 days, and I was like, no, I want it back. Okay, $100 a month. Fuck it,
Oh, no, I
okay.
was kidding.
Yeah.
Can you save 15% by subscribing annually?
No,
Well, you
unfortunately.
can with Patreon. No, I'm just kidding.
And if they had Tesla code Danny D, it would be another 30% off.
Crazy.
No, that's my crazy recommendation if you're, for whatever reason, if you have a
No, that's very
Tesla.
cool. I think with Creators Unite we should do that, where it's like just recommending a random cool thing,
Yeah,
anything.
that's a fun idea.
But yeah, I think that first episode we do will be us kind of like just maybe doing like a short little we're back over here episode, kind of just have like a fun casual chat, and then we'll start having guests on, man, and
Yeah.
it'll be a fun ride. Um, is there anything else you want to say before we say goodbye?
It's not a goodbye, it's a see you later, I guess.
Yeah,
And we'll
we'll
be
see you
back,
later.
and they're just, yeah, thanks for the continued support and letting us do this for 33 episodes.
Yeah, thank you for those who tuned in for all 33 episodes. That's freaking awesome. And, um, like I said, it might be bittersweet, but trust me, what we have cooking, it's gonna be a lot of fun. And, in the meantime, we'll still be running the Patreon and doing those monthly things. So don't think we're completely going away. We're just, switching up operations here.
Yes.
So come join us on Discord, in the meantime, so you can stay up to date. And I guess as always, I'm Derek J. Bowder,
I'm Ben Escobar.
and this is the Fellowship of the Script. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you over at Creators Unite in the very near future. Until then, keep creating, keep pushing, and keep telling stories that matter.
That's right. We'll see you later, guys.
See ya.